So good to have you with me again this morning, ministering with Patrice. Um, Today is National Prayer Day, and I'm just hoping and praying that everybody takes some time out today to pray for our nation and, of course, other nations around our world who are in so dire need of prayer. Ukraine, of course, being among that number. So I want to get started today, and I think I'm going to lean towards the Ten Commandments, something that people don't hardly talk about anymore. And being that right now, again, so much is going on around us, I felt that we need to hear the Ten Commandments, maybe go back to the basics sometime and just hear them again to just be reminded. Used to be in the courtrooms and in the schools, on the halls, or whatever the case may be, but now you don't see that, and now you don't hardly hear about it either. And I don't even know if I don't even see it in the churches, to be honest with you. So maybe it could be just the places I'm visiting. So this morning, let's read from Exodus chapter 20, which speaks about the Ten Commandments. And it says, "And God spoke all these words, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery." The first commandment is, "You shall have no other gods before me." Of course, now he said there's one God, one baptism, and one faith. But for some reason or other, we've got a lot going on in countries. You've got different cultures that believe in all types of gods. Some countries have as many as 1,000 different gods or more that they worship, and we want to be focused on the one and only God, whose name is Jesus, and who by no other baptism or name shall we be saved. So we want to be cognizant. He says, "You shall not make for yourselves an idol in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them to worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the fathers to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments." Basically what he's saying, no, he doesn't want any form of idolatry of any kind. He doesn't want us bowing down to statues and or even feeding monuments of any kind. This is all idolatry. He said, if we do these kind of things, idol idols can be even your mother, your father, your music, TV, certain games, whatever takes priority before God, whatever you're putting before Him, not making time for Him, but just focusing on other things. So be cognizant of what you find yourself doing more of, and look at how much time you put in God's presence versus anything that you're feeling that you just have to do this. You can't have a day without this. And unfortunately, sometimes, our jobs become our idols, even though we know you might have to work 8 hours, but some people take their jobs home and they talk about it after they get home, and then they got to do the computer through the night, and it becomes an ongoing thing, and they end up not having a balance in their life. Or it could just numerous things. So just stay focused as to what you're putting too much time in, and giving more time to that opposed to God. Because the last thing we want to do is cause generational curses that come through the family line 4 generations back, and then we wonder how come these things are happening in our families today, in our bloodline that is carried stuff through. So he goes on to say, "You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name." Now, A lot of times, even on TV, you hear people cursing and they use the Lord's name in vain. And even we ourselves sometimes, it's God this, God this. And if you think about it, uh, are we using it in vain or using it to bless somebody, you know? So be cognizant of how we use God's name. We don't want to take it for granted. It's a holy name. The third commandment is remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you, nor your son or daughter, nor your manservants or maid servants, nor your animals, nor the aliens within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them. But he rested on the seventh day. So we have 6 days that we can do any form of work. And then on the seventh day, God is saying, even Jesus rested. Even God rested. So therefore, on that seventh day, that's our time to be in the presence of God and just rest. Hear what God is telling you for that day or for that week, or just to find peace in resting in Him and hearing His voice. Just to be in His presence, just to rest and not do anything is a blessing by itself. Because sometimes we can get so caught up with what's going on in the world, with our friends and with the jobs and the economy, and not having money, thinking too hard, overthinking, and not thinking at all. So on the fourth commandment, it says, honor your father and your mother so that you may live long in the land of the Lord your God is giving you. Now this, I could preach a message by itself. And maybe one day I'll get the pleasure of doing that. But today I would just say to those who are not honoring our mothers and our fathers, be careful, because it can cause your life to be shortened. You don't want to be cursing your mother out. You don't want to disrespect them. You don't want to dishonor them just because they're not doing things the way you would like them to do. Some of us have fathers who have not done what they need to do in terms of being real fathers. And even in this day and time, even we have some who are suffering from rejection, even from their mothers, because their mothers are not doing what they should do as a mother. But that does not discount the fact that you're still to respect them, because they are the reason and the cause for us being in this world. So we still need to honor them, even if they are drug addicts. When you can say hello, be respectful, tell them that you love them regardless of what they do and don't do, because God didn't say honor them because they were there every day of your life. He says honor them, that you can have a long life. So be cognizant, this is the only commandment with the command for a blessing, to live long. The fifth commandment says, you shall not murder. I think we need to say that again. You shall not murder. Well, you have so much murder in the cities nowadays. It seems like it's just something to do. Children are killing children, and fathers are killing the children, and children are killing the parents, and family members, sometimes 2 or 3 at one time. It seems to be running rapid right now. And then you have gang members who, I think, because if they kill someone, maybe they get a strike up under their name as to how many people they kill. Maybe they become a stronger leader or something. I've heard word of that. But anyway, it's not good to murder. It's senseless. Why go to jail for something that could have been avoided if you just watch how you talk to people, watch what you do around people, watch what you say to people, shooting birds and cussing people out. It's just a waste of time. It's a way to talk. And if you can't talk, say goodbye. Bless them and say goodbye, because they say bless your enemies. So bless them and walk away, and just pray. Keep yourself in a prayer mode that hopefully you will not pray a hedge of protection around you and your family, that no one would touch them, no harm shall come nigh their dwelling. Okay, and uh, commandment 6, you shall not commit adultery. Well, we've got a lot of people who are committing adultery in marriage. They're these days they're swapping wives. They're going out and having affairs, and young girls, young boys is already testing the waters and going here and there and checking things out which don't need to be checked out if they're not married. And then you've got the married people that are not happy at home, and they're going elsewhere for companionship or just to be in a lust situation, because lust can play a part in it too. Sometimes it's not that they love you, they just have a sexual craving or hunger to just be out there doing what they think is pleasing. But in the long run, it's not as pleasing as you think, because some people have died because they satisfied their desires wrongfully. And in this day of sexual sins and sexual sicknesses, it's something to think about before you start going here and there and everywhere. And God is not pleased. So the 7th commandment, you shall not steal. When we had these Black Lives Matter or any other kind of rallies, people steal, people kill, people take, they take things that are not theirs, they damage things that are not theirs. It just seems to be rapid, you know. Someone one time at a job said, anybody still